Most people think that forex trading is a get rich quick scheme, and I understand that because when you see on the internet, you'd see a lot of people just posting profits, making it seem like it's very easy, and as well making it seem like it's something that takes little effort and as well gives you massive results. But on today's video, I want to break it down to you so that you can see trading for what it truly is. I'm going to show you what it truly takes to succeed, because I've been actively trading the markets for the past 9 years, so I know what it takes to go through the wins, to go through the losses, and overall to overcome each and every dark side and as well the positive sides. Just before we go more deeper into this topic, what you can kindly do if you just discovered my YouTube channel is to like this video and at the same time subscribe to my YouTube channel. But let's get straight to it. I want to explain to you what forex trading is, and I've seen so many people try to explain this in the most simplest way, but they still get it wrong. But see it this way: you have two different countries, whether it's the euro, or there's the US dollar, or there's the Japanese yen, but you have two different countries that are fighting against each other. So when they're fighting against each other, that on its own is a currency pair. Because why a pair is two? There's one which is euro, there's another which is US dollar. It's a pair when you put them together. That's why it's called foreign exchange. So let's say you've got the euro versus the US dollar. Normally the first one in a pair is called a base currency, and the second one is a code currency. So the base is always referred to as one because that is the base, and the code currency is always referred to as the price that you will see on the charts when you're reading. I'll show you that a bit more later. So basically, if you expect the euro to gain strength over the dollar, we've got euro US dollar, and you expect the euro to gain strength over the dollar, basically what you're going to do is you're going to buy the euro, which causes you to automatically sell the dollar. So if you're buying the euro, you're buying euro USD, so you're buying that euro, and automatically if it goes higher, you make profits in that journey, and vice versa for the sell. If you're expecting it to drop, you're gonna sell the euro. So when you sell it and it goes lower from the price that you sold it at, that's how you would be able to make profits. So basically, in simple terms, if you buy euro and it gains strength, you make profits. Or if you sell euro and it loses strength, it weakens, then you also get to make profits. The goal right here is to be able to make money from movements between two currencies, which means that if it goes against you, you lose money. So now you're probably asking yourself, what exactly moves the market? Because if you understand how the markets work, you know, the forex terminologies and all that, you'll now want to know what moves it. Because if you have to buy or if you have to sell, you don't just get there and press buy or press sell without understanding. That is gambling now, because a lot of people, they understand this, the minor concepts of how the markets work, and with that little information they go and they start executing, but they make mistakes because they think they know a lot. They think that that information they know is enough, but you need to understand what actually does move the markets. Things such as like technical analysis or as well fundamental analysis. On technical analysis, this is like when you have strategies, whether it's SMC, whether it's support and resistance, whether it's ICT, whether it is Fibonacci, whether it is Heikinacci, whether it's A-dot waves, or even simple strategies like head and shoulders or double tops. I don't care what strategy it is, but as long as you have a strategy that allows you to read the charts, that's more technical. But when it comes to the fundamentals, this is where you get to read the macroeconomics. You have to follow through with these specific companies, whether like, you know, these companies or stocks that you're following have dropped or released some news, or maybe you've got news such as employment data, interest rates, inflation reports, economic growth, political events, or even just central bank statements. These moves the markets massively, and it's very important that before you execute a trade or before you just enter the markets, to just look at what's going on for the day. What are the news saying? You know, what are the technicals saying? How can you best take that information, that knowledge, to make a trading decision? One thing you should know is during this volatile time, especially when news are coming and stuff, that's where you'd get to see that spreads widens because of there's so much volume in the markets. So now when it comes to leverage, a lot of people are getting this wrong because they think leverage is what allows them to be able to make as much money as humanly possible in the markets, on which, if that is true, it's also in direct proportion to the other side, which is you are going to lose as much as you have in your account. So when it comes to leverage, you need to understand that yes, the leverage is basically you having, let's say you have just 1,000 on you right now, but to be able to access the markets, like let's say for instance one standard lot in the markets, that needs 100,000 units. So with 1,000, you can't execute one lot in the markets, But due to leverage, because of you having a better leverage, with that leverage, let's say for instance, if it is 1:100, automatically is that 1,000 multiplied by 100. It will be able to allow you to achieve lot sizes such as 1, maybe 0.10 or even 10 lots, depending on how big the leverage you have. I know that there's 1:500, there's 1:1,000, there's even 1:unlimited, which means that you can execute positions using big lot sizes. But one thing that most people do not see is when it comes to leverage, take it this way. Leverage is more like money that the broker allows you to borrow just so you are able to buy more, which means that, let's say, even if you're buying something that is way more above your means, let's say this thing is costing you 100k, but you only have 1,000 in your pockets, using leverage to buy that specific thing, it means that yes, you might get benefits of being able to own this very expensive thing, this large thing, but at the same time, remember that the risk is more, you are more likely to lose that whole 1,000 initially. And by the way, you still borrowed more, you understand, you still borrowed this from the broker. So luckily right now with the brokers that I'm using, which we're gonna get into it, I like the fact that it doesn't take you on negative. If you lose, they don't put your account in negative, it just puts you at zero. So that's something that's helping you at least go from being in a negative. And with risk management, you need to know exactly where do you buy. You need to know exactly where's your entry, what type of entry methods are you going to follow, where do you put your stop losses, where do you put your targets, what is your risk to reward. And out of you having all that, then you need to come up with a sum of the risk management strategy that's going to be followed. It's either it could be 1%, it could be half a percentage, it could be 5%, it could be 2%, but that's something that you should be comfortable with, because with that you'd be able to spot that you do go through a losing streak. There's times whereby you might take 4 losses in a row or 5 losses in a row, but if you've got a specific risk management strategy, during those losses you don't lose your whole account just because of the fact that you have something that's protecting you. Most people don't have this, which allows them, when they just go through 3 losing streaks or 4 losing streaks, automatically they lose their whole account, because every loss takes up 25% of their whole account. Trading is not completely free. You need to understand the costs of trading. And just before you choose a broker or open a position, you need to understand the following. You need to understand the spreads, the commissions, subs and overnight charges, and as well slippage. So just by touching quick on this, when it comes to spread, this is just the difference between the buying price and as well the selling price. During the times when the markets may be very volatile, especially during news, that's why you might see spreads widening a bit. Certain account types may differ depending on commissions or spreads, but this is all dependent on the account type that you would have chose. But I will walk you through all that shortly. But most people, when choosing accounts, they only choose accounts just because maybe it's promising low spreads or it's promising low commissions, but you need to fully understand all those costs. Like, what I mean is, a scalper may have different approaches compared to a swing trader. Like with a scalper, I don't think, let's say for instance, an account that needs commissions or things like that might maybe work out for you, because you execute too many trades. So every opportunity that you execute, commission. But at the same time, we need those zero spreads, we need those raw spreads, just so you're able to enjoy every price point. But at the same time, when you are a swing trader, this is a bit more different, because now you are trying to hold trades longer. So you, truly speaking, you don't mind covering spread fees, but at the same time, you don't want to be caught on the wrong side, especially when it comes to things like commissions and things like that. And as well, when you're a day trader, you'd need a different approach. But here's the thing, especially when you're starting out, it's very important that you start off first with a demo, because once you start with a demo, especially with the broker that I'll be showing you, so that you can be able to have a much more better understanding of how life will feel. Most people, they start with a demo, but they start differently. They start just on these random platforms, and it causes them to make mistakes, because once they start getting into the real markets, it feels different because they traded with 2 different platforms. But right now, I want to walk you through the exact same steps that you can take in order to be able to progress, but not only just progress, as well be able to move forward in your trading journey. But just before I walk you through and show you exactly everything that I'm saying, I want you to be able to know the steps into choosing the rightest brokers that you can find. Firstly, it's regulations. Wherever you are, whatever jurisdictions you're in or country that you're in, you need to make sure that the broker that you're registering in is registered to be able to operate in your local laws. You'd also need to look at available deposit methods and as well withdrawal methods, because what's the use if you're gonna deposit or withdraw using methods that are not comfortable for you, or methods that you don't even have access to. So you need to look at that too. Thirdly, you'd need to look at the trading costs. We did speak about the commission, the spreads, trading conditions. So these are things that you need to sit down and look at exactly how much is the cost of making business. Another point is customer support. Especially if you're going to be taking this journey serious, you'd need to have at least a team or people that you can reach out to whenever you have problems, that can easily reply you a bit more quicker. Platform stability. This one is important because of the fact that you need to be able to be with a platform that is stable, a platform that you can play on long term, that you can be with long term, and a platform that you know is continuously growing and developing. Account tabs. Most people are getting this one wrong, because when choosing a broker, it's very important to know the different account tabs, just so you are able to choose the best one for you. It's not just getting in there and opening the most random account tab, but it is you being able to know exactly which one would be better for you. Lastly, risk management tools. I mean, it's better for you to be able to trade and be involved with a broker that allows you to protect your capital, instead of ones that make it hard, or ones that don't even help you or meet you halfway when it comes to some risk management tools. So let's just see the very first part that we spoke about, adding some instruments. So I just come here at the top. You can see I just pressed here at the top, and with this I can add whatever instruments. The currency pair is that actually do have, like, one currency against the other. So let me just say let's say USD. There will be a lot. You see there's a lot of USDs that are going to be coming out. So let me just say USD ZAR right here. So I just added it here. I can come here and search more. You can search as many as you want, but I just added. And now that I'm here, this is what I'm seeing from USD ZAR, which means that I did mention the base and the code. Right here you can see USD ZAR, which means USD is the base, ZAR is the code. Remember I spoke that I'm going to show you the code price. Look at it right here. This at the right side right here, this price here, this is what we call the code price, which means that $1 is equivalent to 16.67 rands. So let's say I'm deciding that I'm gonna be buying, because I'm saying that, okay, looking at it, this thing is a bit too cheap. It might go up to somewhere around these levels. Maybe let's just say that. So now I want to quickly show you now I quickly want to show you differences when it comes to spreads. Remember I spoke about spreads. Look at the spreads when it comes to USD ZAR. This is the buying price, this is the selling price. Look at this, 16.68 is where the bottom is. This is 16.71. Look at how different this, which means that if I am buying, I come here, I say buy. Look at where it wants me to buy. I can't buy it here where it is. I have to buy it here, which means as well that if I'm buying it here at the buying price, for me to start being in profits, price has to go all the way up till here, and then it becomes in profits. So that's why I say it's all dependent. For you to be able to be a scalper, swing trader, for you to choose an account, there's all these things that you need to look into. Look at the spreads here. But I'm gonna show you something real quick and come to gold, because this is the one that I trade every single day. So when I just get to gold, look at the spread difference here. I'm literally on the 1 minute, but look at it, it's small, close to nothing. If I come and I still say buy, look at it, bro. It literally just buys exactly where I want to execute it. Even my stop loss is not going to be that far. So some people just come, they go to USD ZAR and they just press buy, and they hold, having to let it run back, cover the spread cost, cover everything in order of you to start making profits. But that's the wrong way to see things. There is obviously currency pairs with a lot of volume that allows you to get better spreads. Euro USD, even GBP USD. So let me just pull out Euro USD right here. So you can see Euro USD. Can see this is on the 1 minute, and you can see the spread is much more better here. It's a bit better. So even if I can just come and say buy, see that it allows me to be able to put, maybe let's say, my stop loss here. If I buy it here, I'll just need to cover this. And by the way, there is also still, this is a standard account. There is also like the raw spreads, which is like you get accounts literally from zero. Let's just take a look at that too. In fact, just by understanding the different account types, you can see the standard with the minimum spread 0.20, no commissions. You can see the standard sent 0.30 pips, no commission as well. Even the leverage is here, 1:1 unlimited, 1:1 unlimited for everything. That's one thing that I like. But you can see pro here 0.10 pips, which is lesser, but you need more minimum deposit. There's no commission. Then you can see raw spreads, which is also $200 deposit, 0 pips to spread, which means that minimum spread is 0 pips. When you enter now, it starts off by being in profits. That's just how it is. But for you to get access to this type of an account, it needs $200 as minimum deposit, because they want you to trade with a higher volume. And here you can see also commissions, 3.50 USD per lot size. And lastly, the zero spread, which also is 0 pips in terms of spread, and you can see the commissions is from 0.05 USD. So there is different types of account sizes. So when deciding that I'm entering a trade. Obviously, let's say for instance I decide that I'm going to be buying this trade right now. Let me just come to gold and say I am buying this trade right now. So when it comes to that, I can do some risk management. That's one thing that I like. You can see I just moved this down. I can already see how much I'm going to lose. If I'm deciding to put my take profit here, I can already see how much I'm going to gain. And one thing that I can do is I can just come here on the risk side, and then I can put how much I actually want to risk. Like let's say for instance, if I want to risk only $100, I can put $100. I see how much I'm going to get. This is 1:3. It shows me what lot sizes I can use. So if I say I want to risk like $1,000, let's see if I say I want to risk 1,000, let's just say $500. Since this is a demo account that I have, $500, I can already see, okay, if I execute this trade, I'm gonna risk $500 when it gets here, and my take profit is gonna be right here somewhere here 1.5 and so on. So this helps me be able to spot. As a beginner, it's very important that you avoid trading with money that you begged for, especially if you took loans or maybe you just asked someone. And at the same time, you need to avoid trading with money that you need to pay bills or cover things for, because I see so many people getting in the markets hoping that they'll make a quick buck. So they take whatever money that they have to pay for responsibilities, they put it in trading thinking that they'll 10x it, take it out and pay for whatever and still get to enjoy, on which you see them making mistakes, losing that money and still being in the worst position. Don't just go out there and follow people headlessly, or don't just see what other people are doing and just try to copy that. Learn, become better, develop, just go about tweaking and optimizing. The truth is that forex trading is a skill, and I see so many people learning this skill and still being able to get results, and there's still other people that are learning this skill and not getting results. But the two differences is time. The others are willing to give themselves time just so they go through the trial and error to figure it out, to crack it, and the others, they're not willing to give themselves time. But I did walk you guys through everything that you need in order to really get started in the markets as quick as today. But if you do want access to the broker that I use in order to be able to trade the markets, then you can check out the link that is below in the description. I do have other videos that walk me through different account types more in details, walk you guys through the registration process and so on. I'll make sure that I put the link as well to the video below this video. But right now, if you do want to be able to start learning, to start growing, to start developing, and start actually having that feel of being in the market, the best thing that you can do is to click the link that is below and get access to the exact same broker that I use. I'm excited that you did watch this video up until this end. I hope this video did share some value, and most importantly, you managed to have learned and you gained some confidence from watching it. I'll see you in the next YouTube video. It is your boy Lisba Mutupi.